Hey everyone! Today we're going to sew the Bella bucket bag from Oro Rosa Patterns. I did it a little differently, so it looks a little different because I don't have any bottom trim because I wanted to get this beautiful panel on here. I used some O-rings on the side, also super beautiful, so I wanted to use those. And here's the recessed zipper. And this is Oro Rosa's first drop-in lining. And she's got a divider pocket inside, which is super great. The construction is really fun on that. It's got a zipper pocket in the divider pocket. And then there's also a slip pocket right here. Sorry. So this is her. Here she is on me. You can have an adjustable crossbody strap or this really fun shoulder strap. I also made the crossbody strap so you could see what that looks like as well. I just use webbing because I use like my whole panel and extras just for this, so I didn't have any matching tan. Anyways, this is what we're sewing. I hope you have fun, and let's get to it. So we're gonna go ahead and organize into packs, but while we're doing that, I'm gonna tell you the things I've done differently and what I've prepped. The strap I am not gonna do. I'm just gonna do it in webbing. I've got my 2 handle pieces right here with my center lines marked and double-sided tape applied. I've got my 2 swivels, some rivets, and hopefully my strap ends will come by the time I get this finished. Then we'll have our bottom and some purse feet I've already marked and placed my holes. We'll also need our main panels and our bottom trim. I combined my bottom trim and my main panel into one so I can use this really big, beautiful panel here. So I'm not going to be showing you how to do the bottom trim part. Okay, then you'll need a lining panel, your trim that I put my double-sided tape on, and your slip pocket, plus some rivets for that. Then you'll need your divider facing, which I've already marked my box on, and your divider trim, plus your divider pockets, and the square pockets to go inside of it, which I'm lost for the name on right now. Plus a zipper, your hang tag if you're using one, and a zipper pull. And then the last bits, the other lining, your zipper, that's your main one, and your zipper pull, plus your zipper panels, your D-ring connectors, and your top lining trims that I've already cut, apparently only one, with my notches in. So go ahead and grab your handles and remove your double-sided tape. I'm going to do the same thing for the strap too. And you'll just fold your raw edges to the center on both sides. And then you can fold it in half to close up that raw edge. And then we're going to top stitch down that folded edge only on both the handles. And then on the strap, you'll do both long edges. So we'll just go ahead and top stitch down this at 1/8 of an inch. Just along that folded edge. I'm going to back stitch a little bit at the beginning and the end, and I'm going to use a 5.5 stitch length with my machine here. Okay, go ahead and put your 2 straps together with those stitch lines meeting, and then I've got my wrong side facing up. I'll take a swivel clip and slide it onto the ends, fold it over and clip this down so it stays in place. After folding it over, we'll make marks at the 5/8 of an inch spot and make holes. Go ahead and set your rivets and then install your strap end and repeat for the other side. As for the strap ends, you just slip these on with the wrong side. See that like print on there? Facing the inside of the straps. You want the pretty side facing out. And you'll just slide that on there, and then you'll just screw your couple of screws in there or clamp them down if you have clamp style. Go ahead and grab your 2 main panels. Since I skipped the bottom trim, I just have these 2 pieces here that I'm going to put right sides together, and then we'll stitch down the long edges at 3/8 of an inch. We'll go ahead and stitch down with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and I'm using a 3.5 on my vinyl. And repeat for the other side. After you trim your seams, get your bottom and match up that long horizontal line with your side seams. And then ease that around. And then staple to further secure your base. Okay, we'll sew this 1/4 inch around. Then go ahead and turn your exterior right side out and press it if need be from the inside. I was just installing my feet and I've got quite a bit of extra space in there. Can you see that? See the gap? So I'm gonna go ahead and take those out and put a little scrap of Decaville Heavy in there. You can use Peltex or even foam. And then I'm also going to put a dab of super glue or thread lock in these as well. Okay, go ahead and grab your next tack and get your slip pocket trim. Peel off the double-sided tape. And then go ahead and fold that wrong sides together. So you have both raw edges here. Then we're going to line this up centered onto one side of our zipper or our slip pocket. And then we're going to base this on and then fold this up. Okay, then we'll go ahead and sew down the one open side along that trim edge and then down just a little bit until you got 3 or 4 inches left. I'm going to go with 4 inches since I have waterproof canvas. We're going to go back to our 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, I went ahead and trimmed the corners, but not the one we left open. And we're going to turn this right side out. Okay, so this is what you have now, and you'll have that little raw edge on your trim for right now. We're going to top stitch across the top here, leaving tails long at the beginning and the end. Oh, and don't forget to poke out your corners. I've gone back to my 5.5 stitch length, and I'm going to stitch at 1/8 of an inch all the way across here. Okay, so I'm going to place my slip pocket on my lining as indicated in the pattern. You can insert your hang tag here if you want, or you can wait to do it later where she shows you to in the pattern. I'm going to start in the piece of waterproof canvas, not in the trim, and we're going to top stitch this on all the way around, making sure to tuck in our raw edges here. Okay, now we're going to punch a hole through that trim right on the edge, like as close to the edge as you can get it. About right there. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, and then you can go ahead and install your rivet. Okay, so you can have this done now and set it aside. grab your divider trim and your divider facing. On the right side, put your double-sided tape. We will go ahead and center this facing on the trim, right sides together. Okay, so we're going to stitch around this box. I'm going to use about a 2.5, 3 stitch length. Okay, I've gone ahead and made a mark down the center of my facing and then made a 1/2 inch mark just inside of each one. I'm going to start at 1/2 inch mark in that center mark I made with my seam ripper and rip a straight line. And then I'm going to make some V cuts all the way to that stitching I made, but not going through it, all the way up to it. If you do clip through your stitching, just go ahead and sew right back over where you were stitching. And before I put anything else on here, I'm going to go ahead and peel off one of the layers here, because I used the waterproof canvas. It's super thick, so I'm going to trim down the exterior. I'm going to be able to use some of my previous double-sided tape, but I don't have enough on the bottom, so I'm going to put another little piece of double-sided tape down here before we turn this right side out. I'll peel this back and we'll tuck this in, holding everything nice and flush. You really don't want to see your lining, your facing piece here. Okay, you can go ahead and set that aside for now. And we're going to baste our zipper onto our zipper pockets here. For this divider pocket, you want to center the zipper and then baste it on to the top of one of the zipper pockets, and then repeat for the top of the other zipper pocket. Go ahead and run a strip of double-sided tape, the 1/8 inch, on each side of your zipper and put your zipper pull on. There we go. I find in order to get this part the flattest, I'm going to lay both sides facing one direction and pull my double-sided tape off. I'll grab my divider facing and center it. I'm going to line up my inside facing with the sides of my zipper pocket, like that. And then we're going to flip the whole thing over, pull the double-sided tape off of this side. Got to be careful so you don't undo the other side. And then with both sides facing the same direction still, I'm going to push it nice and flat. And it should be centered on the other side. So we've got it like so. And we're going to open it up now. Like this. Both zippers are away from each other. Both pockets are away from each other. We're going to top stitch all the way around. I like to actually use about an 1/16 of an inch when I top stitch around this box. So I'm going to start in this back corner and stitch around with a 5.5 stitch length. Okay, after you've pulled your threads to the back and tied them off and put some fray check or burn the ends on them, take your 2 zipper linings and put the edges, bottom edges together. Then go ahead and clip down the sides. And then we'll go back to the machine and sew this in 2 parts. Starting in the bottom corner, we're going to sew with a 5/8 seam allowance down the long edge and up to one side. Then flip your piece all the way over so you have the edge we left open. And starting at the bottom, we're gonna sew with that 5/8 of an inch seam allowance again. After you've trimmed your zipper pocket, go ahead and grab your divider pocket exteriors. Clip them right sides together with a long edge of this divider trim. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So both of them at the same time. From the trim side, I'm going to sew at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way across. And repeat on the other one. Then we're going to go ahead and trim only the exterior side seam allowance. Okay, so with that trim that we just did facing up at us, we'll take the exterior side and fold it down. And then we're going to top stitch across this right here. This is what you should have so far. We're going to go ahead and trim some bulk off of this divider pocket trim on the exterior, or sorry, on the trim side. So just that little bit there on all 4 corners. And we can take our exterior sides and fold them in half, right sides together, and match them up. I'm going to put a clip at the top on each side so I can get a ruler down to the bottom. Okay, I've gone ahead and placed the first markings on each side. I'm going to show you this other one. We're going to come down to this point right here where it stops being straight and starts curving, and we're going to measure in as she says to in the pattern. And then from that mark, we're going to measure up 1 inch on the curve, and then where she says in the pattern, and then from that mark there, 1 inch on the curve, and then where she says in the pattern. So we'll have some 3 dots like this. Now we'll go ahead and make a curved line connecting all those dots and up to the line we made. And then we'll go ahead and sew on that line and repeat for the other side. I'm going to start right in that 2-inch line that we made, and I'm going to sew right on this line. I don't have pinking shears, so I'm going to use my regular scissors and just trim notches down my curve. And then do it on the other side. We're going to go ahead and turn this right side out now. We'll clip everything wrong sides together that was left raw. And if you want to put your hang tag, you'll put that up there now. Okay, we'll go ahead and baste these shut. And do the bottom and the other side. Okay, so now you need your zipper panels, your zipper, and your zipper pull. Sorry, you're going to start off with your zipper tape. You're going to open it up a little bit, and you're going to bend the edges in at 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do is take this zipper coil side and bend it over so it matches the other side here, like that. It's right sides together, and then just pinch it back to where it's wrong sides together. And I'll get a nice crisp little end here, and then we can stitch that down. So I'm going to show you one more time in case it wasn't clear. The right side of the coils to the right side of the zipper tape where it matches and makes a little triangle, and then just take that and fold it back onto itself. And you've got 2 nice little ends, and we can stitch those down. Okay, that's stitched down now. We're going to remove the backing of our double-sided tape on the zipper panel and fold it over the edge of the Decaville light. It should be a 1/2 inch fold over. And we're going to do this on all 4 sides. Okay, Okay, now that you've got those marks in the center of your zipper panels, separate your zipper. Put it raw edge down right at the mark you made. And just go ahead and clip this in here and then do the same thing on the other one. And then I'll just take this other half and bend it over. Match up those sides so they're nice and flush. The top's nice and flush together. And clip those together. Then we'll sew that with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and repeat for the other one. Do not go past the end of your zipper panels here. It's very important or you will see that. Okay, it's time to trim. So what I'm going to do is cut into that folded edge and trim that corner out without cutting the zipper on both sides. And I'm going to do the same thing at the end here. Just don't get your zipper. Okay. Then you can turn this right side out. And then you can top stitch all the way around after you poke everything out with your turning tool. And then again, repeat for the other one. Okay, go ahead and grab one of your main linings. I'm going to start with the slip pocket one for ease. I've got the center already marked. I want my slip pocket to be on the left side, or where my zipper's open to the left side. So I'm going to use this one first. We're going to center it on that mark. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little clip in here. Your zipper teeth are going face up, so the wrong side of your zipper panel is facing the right side of your lining. And then we're going to go ahead and base this on and do the same thing for the other main panel. And don't forget, your zipper teeth are going to be face up. Okay, go ahead and prep your top trims if you haven't already, and then lay them right sides together with the top of your lining. Go ahead and clip that on, and then we can do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll sew it down. I'm going to use a 3/8 of an inch seam. Okay, and then we're going to trim the lining and the zipper panel. And then we'll do this on the next one as well. And then we'll flip this up like so, and then we'll top stitch across the lining side on both of these panels. Okay, go ahead and pull those two pieces pretty taut away from each other. That way you can really have a nice crisp seam, and then top stitch across. Okay, then go ahead and trim this little corner right here on all four sides. That's just going to eliminate some extra bulk. Go ahead and grab your lining main panel that has your slip pocket on it and your divider pocket we just completed. Lay your divider pocket with one side matched up to where she tells you to in the pattern, and we're going to base this down right here. Go ahead and grab your other main lining and put it right sides together, making sure your zippers stay out of the way. Clip these two top trims right sides together, making sure they match up nicely. Then line up the rest, and we can go sew with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing now on this side. So pull your divider pocket over to your mark or the length she tells you. Baste this down at 1/4 of an inch. Then flip the other lining right there on top of it. And then match up the top trim and sew down with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so I've trimmed both my seams here. I'm going to make center marks so we can match this up easier. I'm just going to go in here and fold this in half. Match up those seams and then make a little triangle clip. So now I can just pull that divider down or pull the bottom up and match up my center marks on this side and clip it on. And then I can do the same thing on the other side. This is what your bottom should look like right now. We'll go ahead and sew all the way across to a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so now we're gonna do the bottom corners. You'll just like match up your seams and get everything to like curve the way you want it. And then we'll sew that at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm gonna sew it with my bag standing upright. See how that is? And then we'll repeat on the other one. Okay, now we can go ahead and remove that double-sided tape backing. And I like to start at one of the seams, starting here, and then I'll go ahead and fold those seams, that seam together right there, and clip that. Then we'll go ahead and just keep folding our seam, our raw edge rather. Let's see, to the line we drew earlier. And all the clips and notches we made should help ease everything nicely into place. So when it's finished, it should look like that. Okay, we're almost done. We're gonna trim the non-connectors or non-fused side a little bit on each corner, and then we'll put double-sided tape down, which I've already done. Then you're gonna peel the double-sided tape off and fold your edges to meet your line you drew earlier, all the way down. These are actually supposed to taper in, not be like this. It does V like that. Same thing on the other side. Then you'll repeat with the other one, and then we're gonna go top stitch this down at 1/8 of an inch. Okay, mine are tapered and pretty ugly, especially the one, but I'm gonna put that on the inside. Okay, so on the tapered side, you wanna put a 1.5 inch strip of double-sided tape. Then you're gonna grab your D-rings, triangle rings. I'm gonna use these fancy O-rings. We'll remove our double-sided tape, fold it over, so right to that 1.5 inch line, and stick this down. Okay, and then we'll grab the D-ring and slide it in, and then we'll take our raw edge and fold it all the way to the bottom of our connector. And then I'm gonna make some marks to punch my holes. They're all supposed to be 1/4 inch away from the edge and 5/8 of an inch away from the top folded edge. And then you can go ahead and take your hole punch and punch through all the layers. So we've got something like this now. Now that my lining's prepared, I'm gonna go ahead and fold my double-sided tape and my raw edges down now. Okay, so we're literally just taking this and plopping it in. Depending on which side is your front and which side is your back, put your pockets accordingly. Don't think I have a front or a back. I'm going to start by matching these side seams over here and clip them together. I'm going to do it one on each side. And then do it on the other side. Then go ahead and clip all the way around, easing everything in. Since I do not have a free arm machine, I'm going to start in the seam with my exterior touching my table of my machine. Okay, I'll use an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and a 5.5 stitch length. And I'm going to start with my little hump jumper here because the seam is thick. Go ahead and take your connectors and slip them on and make some marks where this should be. Now you'll have 4 markings. You'll repeat on the other side and we'll punch holes and install rivets for all of those. Okay, the connectors and the zipper pull are on. I'm going to go ahead and add the zipper end now. I'm going to do it just a little bit different than what Alexis is, just because. So I'm just going to fold my edge of my zipper tape into the middle of my zipper and then fold it once more. Same thing on the other side, the end of the zipper tape towards the center of the zipper teeth and then fold it over one more. Then we'll go ahead and slide on our zipper tab and screw it in. Now all you have to do is add your handle or your strap, whichever you made, and she's done. Great job, everyone. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for sewing with me. Have a good day. Bye.